A beggar lived at a railway station in a city. He survived by begging from the passengers of the trains that arrived and departed from the station. One day, while he was begging, he noticed a tall man dressed in a suit. The beggar thought, "This man looks very rich. If I ask him for alms, he will surely give me a good amount of money." He approached the tall man and started begging. Seeing the beggar, the tall man said, "You are always asking from others, but do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I always ask from people. I am not in a position to give anything to anyone." The tall man said, "If you cannot give anything to anyone, then you have no right to ask for anything either. I am a businessman, and I believe in transactions. If you have something to give me, only then will I give you something in return." Saying this, the tall man boarded the train and left. The beggar kept thinking about what the man had said. His words deeply resonated with him. He started wondering, maybe I do not get much money in alms because I do not offer anything in return. But I am just a beggar. I have nothing to give to others. How long will I keep asking without giving anything in return? After much thought, the beggar decided that from now on, whoever gave him alms, he would give them something in return. But the question troubled him. What could he give when he himself was a beggar? 2 days passed as he pondered over this question, but he couldn't find an answer. On the third day, as he sat near the station, he noticed some flowers blooming on the plants around. An idea struck him. Why not give people flowers in exchange for alms? He liked the idea and plucked some flowers. The next time he went begging on the train, whenever someone gave him alms, he gave them a flower in return. The passengers happily accepted the flowers and kept them. From that day on, the beggar would pick flowers daily and distribute them in exchange for alms. Soon, he realized that more and more people started giving him alms. He would collect as many flowers as he could, and as long as he had flowers, people gave him money. But once he ran out of flowers, people stopped giving him alms. This became a daily routine. One day, while he was begging, he saw the same tall man on the train, the one who had inspired him to give something in return for alms. The beggar immediately approached him and said, "Today, I have something to give you. If you give me alms, I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man smiled and gave him some money. The beggar handed him some flowers. The tall man was impressed and said, "Wow, this is amazing. Today you have become a businessman, just like me." Saying this, he took the flowers and got off the train at his station. But once again, his words left a deep impact on the beggar. The beggar kept thinking about what he had said and felt an immense sense of joy. His eyes sparkled with realization. He had found the key to success. Filled with excitement, he got off the train, looked up at the sky, and shouted, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I can become rich too." People around him thought he had gone mad. The next day, that beggar was never seen at the station again. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 well-dressed men were traveling together. They looked at each other, and one of them extended his hand for a handshake and asked, "Do you recognize me?" The other man replied, "No, I don't think we have met before." The first man smiled and said, "Think again. This is not our first meeting. This is actually our third." The second man was puzzled and asked, "I don't remember. When did we meet before?" The first man laughed and said, "We met twice before, on this very train. I am the same beggar whom you once refused to give alms. The second time we met, you bought flowers from me." The second man was surprised and said, "Oh, now I remember. You are that beggar." But today, you are in a suit. Where are you going? And what do you do now?" The first man replied, "Yes, I was that beggar, but today, I am a successful flower merchant. I am traveling for my business." After a brief pause, he continued, "You taught me the universal rule of life, that we only receive when we give. The principle of give and take truly works. I experienced it firsthand. But for the longest time, I saw myself as a beggar. When we met for the second time, you made me realize that I had already become a businessman. That changed everything for me. I finally understood why people were giving me money, not as alms, but as payment for the flowers. I used the money I earned to buy more flowers and started my own business. People in this city love flowers, and their love for flowers has made me a successful entrepreneur." Both businessmen smiled and got off the train together, discussing their businesses as they walked ahead. This story teaches us many important lessons. The tall businessman understood that we can achieve anything if we change our thinking of give and take very well. Every successful entrepreneur applies this principle in life. The beggar also adopted this natural rule, and its impact was visible in his life. He changed his mindset, and his entire life transformed. The story shows us that if we change our thinking, we can achieve anything. If we keep considering ourselves small, we will remain small. To become big, we must think big. Success lies in your mindset. Respect yourself, think big, and watch how you reach the peak of success.